Good morning, everybody. It's 8:11 a.m. August 5th. Wow. All I got to say is wow, wow, wow. Folks, we have a 54 VIX, a 54 VIX. Unbelievable. Crazy. Okay, we got Middle East tensions. We got the Japan market doing horrendous. So the carry trade, okay, is unwinding. I believe that is probably responsible for a lot of this sell off as well, along with the rise in unemployment and the non farm payrolls miss. Okay, all of that stuff is making what we're seeing right now happen. Okay, it's insane. It's going to be a wild day. It's just insane. Okay, market is falling more as we speak. There is panic in the streets. Okay, so why don't we just get right into this? All right. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile and market profile to find structure in these markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. All helps me find edge in these markets. All right, it's my roadmap. It's what I use to construct my plans. Okay, so hopefully every day you can have your cup of coffee. Join me at 8:10 a.m. and we go over leaders and laggards, the story of the markets. We go over why stocks are up, why stocks are down, why certain indices are doing what they're doing, news, economic calendar. Okay, then we go into daily charts, and then the main event, usually at 8:30 a.m., we do our short and long scenarios. Our short and long scenarios at 8:30 a.m. using DES and Nasdaq futures. I do those analysis there. I do it live, and you get to see my long and short trade scenarios. Okay, you get to see my long and short trade scenarios. All right, it's how I like to see the markets, and then obviously, after that, when the market opens, it's a whole new data set, a whole new analyzation that has to go on. And you can see some of that if you go to my YouTube and go to my shorts, the reels I've made of trades. You can see the criteria I use to get into trades. Okay, so why don't we get into this crazy, crazy futures watch list? Boom. We're at a 55 VIX. Okay, 55 VIX. A 48 VIX is a 3% implied move in the S&P 500. That's a 48 VIX. So we're looking for over 3 and change percent move today, up and down, plus or minus. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. 30-year bonds being bought. Okay, 30-year bonds being bought. I believe the 2-year, 10-year yield curve inversion has uninverted. There's also a 3-month, 10-year. I don't think that has yet, but 10-year yield should be down more today. Dollars down 0.78 due to the yen. Probably euro's getting some love too. Okay, but that yen is very, very important to understand. Okay, it's called the carry trade. So just explain it real quick if you haven't read it already. So basically, what you could do, and what probably people did do, is borrow yen, take a loan out in yen for a low yield interest, like very low interest rate. Then you convert that to US dollars. Then you go in, buy Bitcoin. You buy Nvidia. Okay? You buy anything that has a high yield that you can get more money with. Okay? Now, if this is the bad news for those carry trades, Japan just raised their rates, and now the stock market's falling. So what has to happen They have to go back, sell their assets, convert it back to yen, which is rising yen. So I've already talked about this, but I just wanted to make sure everybody understands that. It's very, very important. Okay. Now, moving on. Gold down 1.77. Crude's down 2.35. The Dow is down 2.63. ES down 3.88. Russell down 4.71. NASDAQ down 5.29%. Silver down 5.61. Bitcoin's down 18.66%. Okay. I believe a lot of those carry trades bought Bitcoin. So, and they just had one of their worst days in the Nikkei exchange in Japan. Ether's down 24.86%. 24, almost 25%. Crazy. All right, moving on to the Mag 7 Plus. All right, JP Morgan is leading, down 3.69. All right, Netflix down 3.89. Berkshire Hathaway was getting a lot of love. Now I know there's a lot of news with Berkshire Hathaway selling 50% of their shares of Apple. Okay. Boeing down, GE down, Microsoft down 5.19%, AMD down 6, Google down 6.38, Meta down 7.2, Amazon down 7.5, Snowflake getting destroyed down to 109. Apple, probably after the Berkshire Hathaway news, and you just wanted to get out of there, they're down to 201, down 8.49. Tesla down 8.56. Broadcom down 8.75. Nvidia's down 13.78%. 13.78%. Coinbase getting destroyed. Okay, down 17.88% because of the Bitcoin to 167. Woof. Boy. Craziness. Top sectors. No surprise. Procter & Gamble up 0.31. That's a big staple. United Healthcare's flat. PepsiCo flat. Johnson & Johnson only down 0.09. McDonald's only down 0.7. Makes sense. They're all defensive buys. Okay? And I own 2 out of 4 of those. 3, no, actually I own, what I own? PepsiCo, Johnson & Johnson, McDonald's. Which I'm very happy that I bought them. Let's see here. Who's lagging here? Cat down 2.52. Walmart down 2.63. Home Depot down 2.65. Visa down 2.284. Disney's getting slaughtered, down 3.54. Goldman Sachs down 3.56. Morgan Stanley down 4. Eli Lilly, they report earnings this week. They're down 4.81. Salesforce down 5.73. Qualcomm down 6.82. And Uber down 7%. Let's go to the swing trade list. And let's see who's leading. You got Amgen, TLT, the bond market, almost up to 100. TLT. Gilead, Monster Energy drinks. General Mills, I'm a proud owner of that. That is a recessionary stock there. General Mills. Abbott Labs, the same thing. Philip Morris. Lockheed Martin, defensive stock with all this Middle East stuff going on, right? That's those, right? Clorox is another one. Okay. Now, laggard. There's going to be a lot of them. Let's see who's the worst. MicroStrategy, Bitcoin related, down 22.32%. Mara's, that's related, down to $13, down 19.37. Bitcoin ETF down 19.35. Riot, SoundHound, that's interesting. GameStop's down 14%. Hood down 14.15. Firm, oh, that just went. Palantir, Super Microcomputers, AMC, Carvana, Roblox AI, Dell, Unity Software, Make My Trip, Vertiv, down to 61. Okay, the list goes on and on. We're going to get back though. Top sectors. Now let's look at the guts. Let's look at the sectors. No surprise here. Utilities are flat. Staples, healthcare, basic materials. Okay, even though it's down 1.5. Real estate down 1.58. Energy down 1.75. Let's start with the biggest bad boy that's getting destroyed. Semiconductors down 8.48, technology down 6.95, discretionary down 4.14, communications down 3.63. Okay, market is still falling, made new lows right now as we're speaking. New lows. It just in futures passed the 200-day moving average. We'll get into all that. Financials down 2.97. Bloodbath. It's a bloodbath. The VIX is at 58. The VIX is at 58. There's panic in the streets here. Okay? Pretty crazy. All right. Let's see here. We're going to go into economic calendar. Not even if that doesn't even matter. Does it even matter right now? But we'll go over it, okay? Boom. Okay. Today, 9:45, you got services PMI. That's going to be important, okay? I'm sorry. ISM services, really the big one at 10 a.m. And you got Fed Daily speaking. Okay, this week we don't have a ton of really big news at all. Jobless claims on Thursday and Fed barking. I mean, there's not a lot. Really not a lot. All right. Even the upgrades, downgrades don't. I was going to go over that, but it's really doesn't matter today. It really doesn't. Um, Apple, I talked about the Berkshire Hathaway. Oh, Nvidia actually, one of their artificial AI chips had design flaws, so that was a little negative news. Okay, CrowdStrike is saying that they tried to help Delta because Delta's trying to file a lawsuit, and they're saying Delta, we did offer to help, and they denied their help. But the stock CrowdStrike is woof, woof. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna go here real quick. We'll look at the juice. I want to see if there's something else here. Like I said, some of this news won't be like it won't almost matter because of this sell-off. I mean, this is just craziness. Didn't know when this was gonna happen. It was probably an eventual happening. Probably eventually was gonna happen. Just too frothy. Too frothy. Give me one sec where I pull this up. Let's look at this together here. Berkshire Hathaway, we talked about that. Snickers maker Mars explores acquisition of Kellanova. I saw that stock went up. And then Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk battle for the weight loss market. JP Morgan CEO contenders cite intense competition during market revival. It says JP Morgan Chase investors puzzle over who will eventually replace Jamie Dimon. U.S. expected to propose barring Chinese software in autonomous vehicles. The U.S. Commerce Department is expected to propose barring Chinese software in autonomous and connected vehicles in the coming weeks. Wow. So I don't usually read this, but let's just read this. Global stock markets plummeted with Japanese shares at one point surpassing their 1987 Black Monday decline as concerns about a U.S. recession drove investors away from risk. Meanwhile, the U.S. stock index futures plunged with Nasdaq futures dropping nearly 4%. The CBO volatility index surged 35. We know that's over like 50, 61 now. 61 now. It says cryptocurrency linked stocks also declined as Bitcoin hit a 5-month low as U.S. economic worries grow. The Japanese yen hit its highest levels against the dollar since January. Oil extends losses. Insane. Okay? Insane. Obviously, Lockheed Martin's getting some love. This market is continuing the sell off. Okay? Now, let's move on here. And we're going to go right into, let's look at earnings. it's just crazy to look at earnings right now, but we're going to look at earnings. Let's look at those earnings for this week. Today before the open, Berkshire Hathaway. Before the open, that's about all I care about. Palantir's after the close today. Lucid. And before the open tomorrow, Uber, Celsius, Fubo TV, Cat, Baxter, and Marathon Oil. Marathon Petroleum. Okay? And then that's all I'll really have to talk about today. Now, big ones this week. Disney, Sony, Lyft. Let's see. I'm just trying to see big ones. Eli Lilly, Datadog, Trade Desk, Paramount Global. Just looking for bigger ones. Last week was more of the big ones. Okay. Now we're going to go right into the daily charts. Okay. Like I said, there's not really, I mean, it's just kind of nuts here. So let's back it out. Let's back it out here. All right. Now, let's look at daily charts together. Okay. So this is what we did. We bounced off the 100-day moving average, which doesn't really matter now. Popped up here. Hit that 100-day. Right? Where are we now? 510. We are, this is crazy, past this trend line all the way here. Okay, you look to the left. This was resistance. This was resistance in around May. We're back to where we were in May. Look at all these gains that have just been gone. They're gone. All these gains gone. But you do have some consolidation here. Makes sense. Well, we're kind of stopping here. 200-day moving average is, it's called 500. 200-day moving average is at 500. Okay? So this makes sense that we're stopping here at 510. Obviously, I think the next move, you're going to be right at 500. If we do fall further, that's a 200-day moving average. You could even see it slice through, but I don't see everybody just, you slice through that like a hot knife through butter. I don't see that. Okay? Now, let's look at the live look. Jesus, look at that candle. My Lord. So in the futures, we're heading towards a 200-day moving average, which is right here, 51.17. 51.17. And you can see to the left, this has support in the futures market right here at 50.90. 50.90. Look at that candle. My Lord. Jeez. Now, if we reverse this, let's see if I can do this today here. Just now. Let's see. Futures. Is it going to give it to me, the data? No, it's not going to give it to me. Let me see here. Let me go to data series. Data series. Let's do fixed. Let me see where that went. Let me see where that went. Data series. Let's see. Data series. Let's try floating. There we go. There we go. Let's see from the top. Let's see if it can give me that percentage. It's not giving me that percentage. All right. Anyway, let me get rid of that data box off. Okay. So that's the futures. All right. Let's go into the Qs. All right. So what the Qs do? Qs came to this key level here, 447. All right. Kind of closed right there, 448. That makes sense. You look to the left. This was resistance. This was support. Okay. That was resistance. That was support. Now, where are we now? 422. Wow. Look to the left, all right? 422. You are underneath the 200 moving average by a lot. You're right here. Look to the left. You have this consolidation right here. You have support here at 420. 420. I think we could either go to 420 or we go to 413 in the Qs. Okay? Now, what's very interesting is look at this price here, right around here, 440 about, probably around the most traded price of this year. We're below that. And we're below the most traded price of the year, the rolling year in the futures. I said if we went past that, look out. I've been saying that in my videos. Okay, go back and look at it. I've been saying that. Okay, so look, folks. You zoom out. Here's that all this consolidation. We are past that. That's why I'm saying this 412 and now 420 come into play. We're past the 200-day move average. This is nuts. Okay. Now let's look at the live look in the futures. Look at that candle. My Lord. So in futures, you're coming to a key level right here. This swing low around 173.25. 173.25. You have some buying a little bit there. We'll just have to see. We just have to see. Okay? Makes sense why we're stopping here. Now in futures, this is a back adjusted contract, so you're not going to get the 200-day moving average like you would normally. Okay? All right. That is that. Now, we do have a 10-year yield. Let's see where that is at today. Woof. Let's see where that is at. Let's go to that 10-year yield. Right there. Wow. Wow. We're at a 65 VIX, by the way. A 65 VIX, by the way. We are at 10-year yield. Let's just go to the list real quick. The 10-year yield is down 2.8% down to 3.68 yield. Wow. 30-year bonds are being bought even more. What we're going to see is probably a full uninversion of the yield curve, which generally means recession. It has never not meant recession. Okay? So, this is nuts, G-Man. This is crazy. Wow. We're past this swing low right here of 3.7. We're all the way down here. Crazy, nuts. Triple-headed monster rearing its head. Let's go over to the dollar. Okay, let's go over to that dollar. Dollar is tanking out of this range. Now, this is different. Okay, usually a lower dollar is good for commodities. It's good for equities, right? But this is actually a devaluing of the dollar. Okay, so look at that. Wow. Right now, what have we been talking about? Let's look at the euro. Now, generally, the euro should be up against the dollar. Let's check it out. There it is. Euro is making a move. But that is not the main event. The main event is the Japanese yen. Look at that chart of the Japanese yen. That is the carry trade unwinding in front of our eyes. Okay? Those are people who got a loan in yen, converted it to US dollars, got into all of our tech stocks, got into our Bitcoin, got into all these appreciating assets. Now Japan has raised rates, okay? And they're getting out of our stuff, going back, right? It's crazy. This is why this is happening, folks. Now, VIX. The VIX, oh my God. Look at that VIX. 65 VIX right now. We are up. Look at this number. Look at the top of that list. We are up 179% in the VIX. 179% in the VIX. My God. When it was at 48, I was like, wow, it's at 48? This market, I don't even know if I've seen this before. I've seen, I think, a 78 VIX with COVID. I want to say that I'm pretty sure. And I remember it was almost untradeable. Your risk had to be so far away in futures. That's what I was trading futures a lot. Like I was like, I can't even like trade this. This is nuts. So we'll have to see. It's going to be crazy today. This is insane. Okay? Insanity. All right. I think we can look at structure. today. It's just a nuts market though. Okay, give me a second here. Wow. All right, let's go over to that profile. Wow, pushing down even more now. My God, like the market just bounced. Price is all the way down here, 51.25. It literally bounced. I saw it here and just went wham. I just heard large orders hitting the tape. I can get rid of this demand zone. That doesn't matter. Now, a couple important things here. You know what I'm going to do right now? Let's look at this macro. We got to look at it macro wise. Okay. This is going to give us a better view of what's going on. Okay. This is the better view. I want to make sure everybody knows this, sees this, is aware of this. Okay. Trying to see what I want to use as my. Okay. So if you're not familiar with this chart, I'll go over it really quickly. Every blue profile is a weekly. These are just, look at them as weekly candles, but they just happen to be volume profiles, and they give me the most traded price of each week. Okay. Each white outline is monthlies. These are monthlies. It gives me the most traded price in pink. Okay. So those are just to look at them as monthly candles. And then we got candlesticks that are 4-hour candlesticks. To the right, we have a heat map. The heat map represents a year ago from today. The white is this year. Okay, now this year's most traded price of the year was 52.74. Okay, price is down here, 51.47. Price is right here. We're below this year's most traded price of this year. We're below that. Okay. Now, this is where you want to look at high volume nodes. Okay. What's the first one we really tested? 51.70, or we're below that. Okay. 51.70 is right here. We're below it. Okay. Now you have right there is another high volume node. Is at 51.12. Now look, the market came down right to that one. Okay, so right now that held the market. This node, look right here, held the market. You have to look at these, folks. Let's go to the next one. Next high volume node is 5044. So right now, this held the market, 51.14. We could bounce in between these two today, 51.70, 51.14. Okay. Let me explain one more thing in case you don't understand. These divots are called low volume nodes. Low volume nodes. Those usually act as support and resistance, or they get blown through. So what is that low volume node? That would be 50.60. 50.60. That could be support here. So we have to note this, what I just said. Okay. Now you remember big old 55.30 up here? I'm still making a short video on this. There's our 55.30, that large volume node, and we went away from that, and I said, whoa, 52.74 is the next stop. Well, we're down there. Wow, crazy. All right, let's go to the NASDAQ. Let's look at that together. And this is even more. I've been talking about this for a while now. I didn't think it would be this violent. Give me a sec here. There's a lot of data here. Okay. Once I can get this marker. Here we go. All right. Here we are. 185.47. That is the largest high volume node of this year and a year ago from today. I said if we lost that, No good. That is not good for the Nasdaq, right? Now, what happened on Friday is we came here and we stuck. It did its job. It held the market. Well, I guess the market said this gap down right here and just sold off. I said if we held under this level, the market was going to fall hard, and it did. It went all the way down to here, 173.51. Price is right here at 175.90 right now. There's a high volume node right here. What is that high volume node? Let's look at it together. Right now, I believe it's like a 175 or something like that. Right here. Yeah, let's just call it 175. 175. High volume node. Okay. Now, what else do we have to look at here is we don't have another high volume node and all the way until about 167.36. We do have a low volume node here at 170.170. That's going to be support for the market, or it could go right through it. Then you have another low volume node here at 168.28. Okay, 168.20. But right now, this high volume node around 175 is holding the Nasdaq. It's holding the Nasdaq. Okay. Now, let's get back over to the charts of the ES and see. Now we're bouncing here a little more. Okay, we're bouncing here. I'm just going to go up and make this bigger, but big as I can, to get, let's see, because this is a crazy gap. Okay, crazy. We're right at the 200-day moving average right now. Now, so that's the gap fill, 53.31. I don't see that really getting hit today, but hey, I got to put it there, right? Now, where are we here? Yes, this is the most traded price of this year. That's that 52.74. Okay, that's how you can know it's on my chart here, the green box. Okay, now the first thing you got to look at is the midpoint of this overnight move. That's the 50% retracement. It's at 52.32 right here. Happens to be lines up with a gap from the past. This is also a gap from the past. Now, in overnight sessions, you don't count those gaps as filled. You have to do them in the real-time trading hours. Okay, so right now our key levels are gap fill 533.1, most traded price of this year 52.74. Then you got 52.32, 50% retracement of this move. Okay, we also got the 200-day moving average in the futures here. Okay, so this is kind of making a little more sense. We are close to 100% net short. We're probably about 90% net short right there. Okay, so it's all about, we got demand down here at around 5,100. Demand at 5,100. So really, I am going to be looking for, at the 200-day moving average, is honestly, guys, so 52.32, I'm just going to be looking for to see if sellers engage here. Okay, sellers engage here. We got overnight lows of 51.20, and you got here. I'm being honest with you. This, I have to really watch it. Really, really watch it. Okay, because these price movements, price action is going to be wild. We have a 62 VIX right now. Okay, so I'm honestly, it's hard to analyze this. I just have my, I know 50% retracement, overnight low, demand at 5,100. So I'm going to make it very simple right now. We're going to go over to the scenarios. Okay, and like I said, this is a wild market right now. So if I'm going to go for a bull scenario, okay, I know we just came a long way. Okay, and one or two things are going to happen from this psychologically. People who are holding all these Mag 7s and maybe even bought them higher are going to look to get out. And that can cause this little capitulation here into this demand zone at 5100. And again, I'm going to be watching internally to see if tech gets bought up or it just gets dumped, right? So I'm going to be looking for higher lows, and I want to see at least what we do with the 200-day moving average in this gap, right? And then can we move up right here to the 50% of this move of the overnight? If it gets real nuts, do we move up to the most traded price of this year? And there's a supply zone right here, because the moves will be wild. Okay, moves will be wild. Now remember, psychologically also, if you're a holder of one of these Mag 7s and you're like, oh my God, I'm down, and this market goes like this, you could get out, and that could cause that. You could be like, oh my God, I got the pop, I'm out. There's a whole bunch of things now psychologically, right? It's kind of the only thing I'm looking at. Like I said, I'm going to be super picky today. Now, as far as selling, okay, the only thing I'm really interested in, okay, let's say we get the bounce. We come in here. We come up. Now we hit that 50%, 5232. That also happens to be week to date VWAP. Right in here. Okay, 5232. I want to see what the market does. If it starts making lower highs, well then we could roll over. And today, I think the selling has come at, like, I would be surprised if we go down another 2-3%. Anything can happen, okay? But definitely you can see us probably bouncing and holding these lower prices today. Okay? Let's look at NASDAQ. Same stuff, guys, what I'm going to say here for the NASDAQ. Okay? Let me see if this demand zone got taken out. I think it did. Remember, this market profile is just 30-minute bars. It did. This demand zone got taken out. However, look at this demand zone right here. It's a small one, but it's acted as support twice now that we've gotten bought out of it. Now I want to show you one pattern that I'm looking at right now with the 30-minute bars, and it's called an H pattern. All right, doesn't mean it always has to happen, but right here is an H. See that? And a lot of times I'm gonna give credit to Peter Reznичek of Shadow Trader. He calls this hell for shorts. And I've witnessed this so many times. Well, what happens is you come down, you get bought up, and usually what happens, you take out this low and it traps. It's like a bear trap, and then you get one of these rip roaring rallies. Doesn't mean that I just go along because of this, but I've seen it so many times. It's a valid thing to talk about. Okay, let's go back to the profile and talk about our levels. All right, I'm going to make this bigger. Okay, so let's just go over some things I'm seeing. Gap fill, what is that? 183.85. Now the Nasdaq's 100% net short, so everyone's short in the overnight. Okay, everyone is short in the overnight. Now, what do we have going on in the Nasdaq? We have this demand zone that's been holding. Starts at 174. That's been holding. What's our 50% retracement of this move? 178.70. 178.70. Okay. Gap fill 183.85. Those are little inflection points. We do have supply right here at the most traded price of the overnight right here. Okay. I see a bunch of naked VPOCs here. That's just the most traded price of the day, and it's never been tested. And we're probably going to go through these today. They're going to finally get cleaned up. Okay. So all I'm looking for here is very simple, and we're going to talk about it. right? So we'll get right into scenarios. Like I said, this isn't very nuanced. I don't know what's gonna, obviously no one knows what's gonna happen. But again, bull case. What do we do if we come back here again? So I want to see what the market does. Even if we come down here, do we pop? Lower high, lower high? I think we can at least go to the 50%, 178.70, right? I could even see this happening. Come down here, take out the overnight lows, and make a V recovery. Hold, 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 lower high. Work yourself up to here. Really gonna have to evaluate the market. Like I said, this is no slam dunk at all. Short side. Okay, same thing. What do you do here? You got a gap, an old gap here as well. What do you do when you hit the bottom of this gap? What does price do? What about, and you got gap fill like I said up here. Do I see that? That would be crazy. Um, However, I want to see this gap and 50% of this move. If we come up here, what do sellers do here? Do we roll over? Possible. Okay, possible. The next thing is, do we go up, fill this gap? And look, if you go up and you fill the gap and you have supply right here, what do we do? Fill the gap, people could probably take profits, maybe we roll over. Okay, this by no means is any slam dunk analysis. I'll be honest with you, because this is not easy. We have a 62 VIX. The price movements are going to be wild. My risk is probably going to be quarter the size because of the way the ATR is going to be. Okay. All right, guys. I have a plan. It is very soft. It's a very soft plan because this market is nuts. It's wild. The swings are going to be wild. I mean, Nvidia right now is at $92. It actually doesn't count, but it filled a gap at 96, and now it went all the way down to 92. Okay. All transparency, this is not financial advice. I did nibble when it went down to like around 92, around 92 level. Okay, I did nibble a little bit. I mean, it's down from 140 something, and they have earnings coming up. So to me, this is just Christmas morning. I'm not pulling full positions in it. Nibbles. Nibble, nibble, nibble. That's all it is to me. It's nibbling. Okay? It's nibbling. This has nothing to do with Nvidia sucks. Okay? This is recession fear. This is Middle East tension. This is unemployment just ticked up. This is the Japanese carry trade. All that stuff's working together against the market. Okay? Now, got our plan. Hope everybody has a great day. Now listen, I might not even take a trade today. I might not. If I analyze it and I'm like, this is insane, I might not. Okay? This is a crazy market. And there is panic. Okay? There is panic in the streets, boy. Everybody have a great day. Let's have a great week. Let's have a great week, everybody. Stay green, stay patient. Sit on your hands if you have to. I hope everybody does good today. Sit back and watch. Okay? I'm going to sit back and really watch, try to take in what's going on. Okay? All right, everybody. Have a good day.